Well, hello everyone. Just another quick little video today. Unedited, but this time I have a script, so I won't miss anything important. We'll be going over combat speed and why it matters. And to get that started, we'll be doing an exaggerated example. So there we go. We have our target. These two here are perfect clones, except for this piece of equipment. This one has modified sandals to have no combat speed effect whatsoever, and also no other equipment that affects that. And then this one has combat speed effect of 0 times, which is interesting, and we'll get back to that later. But just to quickly make the point about why you should care, let's show what happens. And also we'll dismiss a myth right up front. There are two different movement speeds. You have your athletics movement speed, like out in the world, sprinting, and you have your combat movement speed. Combat movement speed is not affected by your combat speed multiplier, as you will see here. They run up at normal speed and they slow down and shuffle. That's your combat movement speed. Completely unaffected. And I'm going to hit R to reset the key. Try to get them to do the same attack at the same time. There we go. Both overhead attacks, followed by a left swing. You can see the one person finished 2 attacks in the time it took the other guy to do 1. Yeah, that's a pretty significant difference. But remember the whole 0 thing? 0 times combat speed? Yeah, it's kind of weird he doesn't just get stuck in the animation. But turns out, when you're in combat, you can actually see this. So, going to the neutral guy here. The actual attack speed effect that you should have is 1.06. And then this guy is 0.56, which is about 53%, somewhere around there. For whatever reason, that number keeps coming up. I'll have to figure out why later. But yeah, so for whatever reason, 0 times combat speed effect is not 0 combat speed. It's just neutralizing one of the scalars. I have to figure out which one. Oh yeah, speaking of which, there are a lot of things to this formula. For instance, just the numbers on this list: attack speed and block speed. That requires your attack skill, your defense skill, your strength skill, dexterity skill, your weapon type, and the weight, thus the quality. All of those need to be neutralized before I can figure out exactly what the combat speed modifier is dealing with. So for that reason, there won't be any formulas in this video. I'll have to come back to that later. But to be fair, that is the only thing left to do before I can make a proper weapon tier list. I need to have the attack speed and the block speed. That's all I need. But anyway, back on topic. That's not the only weird thing about attack speed. So for instance, these guys. Again, perfect clones. This is my baseline. And this one has been modified to have combat speed effect of 2 times. So that this guy should be moving about 53% faster than the baseline. And let's see what happens. Again, shuffling at the same speed. Hit R to reset. R to reset. Let's attack at the same time, please. There we go. Perfect frame for frame. Oh god! Alright, well I don't need you guys anymore. Take care of that. I don't want you to kill him. Okay. Continue. No. Both attack at the same time. Using the same attack. Good job. So that was perfect frame for frame, 2 attacks in a row. There's clearly not a 50% increase. And even a 10% increase would have shown. So, there appears to be no effect whatsoever to increasing your combat speed. However, it does neutralize other effects. For instance, if you have armor that has a penalty to combat speed, you can give yourself something like this to make it a little more bearable. But the weirdness doesn't end there. So here we have two falling suns. This guy is again the baseline. And then X0 is again the 0 combat speed. So we're going to have them attack. One guy should be moving twice as fast as the other, right? Nope. Perfect, frame for frame. Even the recoveries. Yeah, so what's happening here? It's actually pretty simple. These guys don't have the strength to use this thing. This is a 40 kilogram falling sun, and I only gave them strength and dexterity of 40. They just don't have the skills to use this thing effectively, which is why they swing so slow. Even this base movement speed guy, stupidly slow. But as part of my research, I figured out exactly where that happens. And let me get these guys in combat. Now, I'm not going to bother attacking with these guys because the difference is so minuscule you'll never even see it. And getting all three of them to attack at the same time is an exercise in futility. Not to mention, if I hit this guy, I kill him. So we'll just look at the numbers down here. Starting with the lowest, this is a strength XP rate of 104% at 61 strength. And this leaves me with an attack speed of 0.52. Moving up just one skill point, strength XP rate of 100% and 0.53 attack rate, an increase of 0.01. Going up the same amount of skill, we are at 95% strength XP rate. Let me go up to 0.55, an increase of 0.02. Now, this was much more pronounced when I was in a dust storm, which affects your attack rate because it affects your attack score. So you just have to take my word for it. But it goes under a different scaler. It's actually, the effect is neutralized completely above the 100% strength XP rate. And then below the 100% strength XP rate, it has its linear scaler, like I talked about before with the clubs. So that's something to keep in mind. And we'll come back to that in just about a minute. Now, to be honest, this is of little concern in duels. When you're fighting one-on-one, it doesn't really matter all that much because you take turns attacking. Now, according to the FCS, I get to test this, but according to the FCS, who attacks is determined strictly by your attack skill. Not your actual attack speed, but your attack skill. So I need to double check that. But if that's the case, it would actually be no penalty whatsoever. It would be a reduction in damage per second, but you have all the time in the world to make sure that guy dies. You might as well have the extra protection of armor that gives you those penalties. However, combat speed reduction is a great concern in mass combat because it lowers your damage per second. You need to make sure that you take out the guy you're attacking so that he can't attack other people. But then again, it's a double-sided coin. If you slow yourself down enough, if you do this thing, or you give yourself a weapon that you can barely even lift, let alone swing at someone, that actually helps you in a kind of sideways way because it can lock down someone's block, as I will demonstrate. He is stuck in that blocking frame until the attack ends. There's nothing else you can do. During that time, he is not attacking you, and he is not attacking your friends. You could, in theory, give yourself a much, much harder time swinging at people, and it would actually help you. And this stupid skimmers. Oh no! He died. Oh well. Baba, black sheep, didn't have any wool. So, anyway. that's about all I have for you. Yeah, just want to clarify that one thing, dispel a couple myths, and hopefully you guys can put good use to it in Kenshi. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching, and this is Terminal Account.